update. The update is they have released all the police officers' names that were involved, but they have reinstated 4 of the police officers who were.
Have they?
Yeah. So let me share my screen here. Do you see this article, Ty, right now?
I saw the one you sent me earlier.
Hold on.
Oh, no, I don't see anything. I just see myself.
What about now? You see this?
Yeah,
article?
I see it. Mm-hmm.
All right. The Pasco County Sheriff's Office has released the names of the 7 deputies who were originally placed on administrative leave after Andrew Brown was fatally shot last week. Sheriff Tommy Wooten said he released the names after promising transparency. Comes a day after a judge blocked the public release of the video. In a statement Thursday, Wooten said it's obvious 4 deputies never fired their weapons and they have been reinstated. They are Lieutenant Stephen Judd, Sergeant Michael Swindell, Sergeant Kenneth Bishop, and Sergeant Joel Lunford. The 3 others who Wooten say did fire their weapons are still on leave pending the investigation. Paid leave, by the way. Paid leave. Pending the investigation. Please don't forget that. They are Investigator Daniel Meads, Deputy Sheriff Robert Morgan, and Corporal Aaron Llewellyn. Llewellyn has been with the sheriff's office just over 2 years. Morgan and Meads have been there over 5 years. The sheriff said after reviewing the preliminary conclusions of the independent investigators conducting the internal review, and after carefully examining the body camera footage of the incident with my own staff, it's obvious that 4 of the deputies never fired their weapons and deserve to be reinstated to active duty, the sheriff said. More investigation is necessary into the 3 deputies who did fire their weapons, and they will remain on administrative leave pending completion of the internal investigation, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know your thoughts, Ty, because you
can make an action based on whatever little part you saw. You can make an action on the investigation premature to the investigation being complete, reinstating 3 officers. You can do that. But you can't look at that video and say, okay, this needs to go out. Why is that?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It can't be pending investigation. If that was the case, them people that you put on leave should be off. Because if they deserve to be on because they didn't shoot, then the family deserved to have that tape because you already saw it and it's out. And you can still investigate.
By the way, Ty, you're already paying off. Welcome, new Status Coup member. Joan just signed up. Holy cow, 1,923. Keep it coming. Welcome, Joan. By the way, to our new members, you get access to our members-only Discord, our monthly members call, as well as behind-the-scenes members video. I just did a members video yesterday. So if you're new to this, once you become a member, go to our website. That's, let me show you. Go to statuscoup.com/join. And when you get there to our website, statuscoup.com/join, click over become a member and then click on member content. That will get you all the members content, behind the scenes videos and all that good stuff. So here's my thought, Ty. I don't know. This is America. I guess the media would just take the word of the sheriff who said those 4 other officers didn't shoot, right?
Why wouldn't they? This is America.
But the question is, and by the way, I sent you that article, that vaping stuff causes all sorts of bad things. But
I know you said back problems. I was looking at that. I've been having back issues.
Yeah, there you go. But
I quit for that.
But I don't know. Are we supposed to just is Andrew Brown's family supposed to just take the word of this officer that's this sheriff that those 4 officers didn't fire? And by the way, the family hasn't seen the 4 body cams or the dash cam footage. So maybe they didn't fire, but maybe they were culpable in other ways. The other officers in the Derek Chauvin, George Floyd case, they're being tried too. The other officers that stood there and did nothing. So this sheriff is bringing back 4 officers that he said didn't fire. But how do we know what they did do? We don't have the footage. The family doesn't have the footage. The lawyers didn't have the footage. And I pointed out, Ty, something that really stood out to me. If there's 4 body cams and a dash cam, why did they only give the family 20 seconds if all of this was available? Your thoughts?
I mean, that's the reason, bro. We know the reason why. It's because they're biased. They're biased to their people, and they're trying to protect their people, period. That's why he think it's fair that they get reinstated. Like that's what's fair. He's looking at what's fair in regards to his officers, but not looking at what's fair in regard to the people that they victimized. You know what I'm saying? The people that they murdered, the family that has to deal with that now. They're not thinking about what's fair to them. They're thinking about what's fair to their officers. You got it's like if you have an investor, you know, like this is probably like internal investigations, but you got them. If somebody told me to investigate you, you know what? I'm gonna probably give you the benefit of the doubt because you're my friend, and that's just human nature. I know you. I'm gonna give you the benefit. If you did something outrageous, maybe, but other than that, I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. I don't know when the last time I told on a friend of mine. Period. So that's what they doing. And you can tell by how he reinstated those officers. That's fair. That's the only fairness that he's looking at. It's fair over there, but it's not fair when these people want to see what happened to their people, because you can even have an argument and say, you know what? It ain't public yet, but the family was able to see all of them. The family and the lawyers was able to see all the video, all the footage. Okay, you can have an argument whether that's fair or not, because that's more impartial, because now those officers are off. I mean, back on duty, premature of the completion of the investigation, and the family has gotten to see the whole thing premature of the investigation. But that's not what they do, bro. That's the blue line. That's what it's all about.
Well, it's also, at the end of the day, the judge seemed to have a lot more care and concern for the officer.
Why wouldn't he?
And
they have lunch together, bro. They know each other. They sit and kick it. They go to the. You got motherfuckers that do that. You got police officers that do overtime, and they just sit in court in those counties. That's what their overtime, just to show up in court. They got relationships with the DAs, with the judges. They kicking and having lunch together. What you think he gonna do? He know that guy. He'll give him the benefit of the doubt. It's the same thing it's that same dynamic as when you talk about you would love to have police that come from certain communities, police those communities because they care about, they grew up with them, their kids play with their kids. So they got some, they're invested in the success of any kid in this certain neighborhood because that's where they're from. They're going to care more. You know what I mean? And they're gonna do that because they spend time with them. That's the same thing with the judicial system, bro. They're all in cahoots, homie. Period. Unless you got a rogue one that's like, fuck that, this shit is bullshit. You catch those, but for the most part, them judges, they gonna give them the benefit of the doubt all the time.
Also, this is North Carolina, the South.
Oh,
this judge has got to be this judge.
That's way different than like, you know, say LA or something.
This judge gets elected. District attorney has to get reelected. They're all, like you said, work with the police. In Minneapolis, remember, the Minneapolis Attorney General Keith Ellison took the case from the district attorney.
I know, because he was bullshit at the beginning. I remember.
Right. So in this case, you have a judge.
He didn't arrest him or something. Something happened at the beginning of it.
Right.
He didn't arrest him quick enough. Yeah.
But you have a judge taking, from what I've read, the unusual step of mandating that the officers' faces be blurred. Now that the officers' names have been released, that kind of becomes moot. But taking the unusual step that the officers' faces had to be redacted, certain other images, including weapons, might be redacted. So it just seems to me, if there's nothing to see here and Andrew Brown was threatening officers in whatever way, it would have been out yesterday. It would have been out.
Period.
9 days ago.
Period. When did that video come out? Same day with the little girl?
Yeah, same day. And
it's right in your face, bro. They can't lie. It's right there in your face.
Right.
We've seen it. It's not 1990 where information don't come quick and it takes a while to like piece everything together. We see it right here. It's right in our face, man. They know what they're doing and we know what they're doing. They're just so used to operating in a certain way, they ain't taking into consideration. Oh, we was just put out a few minutes ago, like last week. We saw them they're not piecing the things that we're piecing together when they say they can't do it. Why you can't? They showed that you can. You know what I'm saying? Last week they showed that you can put it out at any time, and they choose not to. The reason that they choose not to, we will find out. Just like Laquan McDowell in Chicago. Remember, they held that video till Rahm Emanuel got reelected. All those officers were still on pay, getting paid, patrolling the streets until they had to make a big fuss. And after he got elected, then it came out.
by the way, you know where Rahm Emanuel is reportedly off to?
Isn't he in the White House?
Biden's going to make him ambassador to Japan. So how about that? You cover up the murder of a 17-year-old, you get to be an ambassador to Japan. I guess that's kind of a demotion for Rahm Emanuel, but still kind of pretty shady. Smash that like button. We got 620 people watching.
Ambassador to Japan ain't a promotion if you're talking about money.
I think demotion.
That's what I said. It's not a demotion if you're talking about money, because if he's an ambassador to Japan, that means he's gonna get relationships. He can get on boards.
Oh, he's already on Wall Street. He's already works with Wall Street banks and all that, and has a cushy job on ABC as a contributor after covering up Juan McDonald's murder. So this is really living. This is why I call it the United Corporations of America, because this is a system where you fail upwards. You fail upwards. So if you cover up the murder of teenage black men, you get a job on ABC as a news commentator, right? If you, I mean, the list goes on. If you tank the global economy and you're a Wall Street executive, you get to keep your bonuses and then continue, and nobody goes to jail. The list goes on. I mean, George Zimmerman got off. Countless cops have gotten off over the decades.
Hey, Karen, good to see you too. By
the way, I think they're setting this up through this lack of transparency not to charge these police officers.
You think so?
Oh yeah, and they are already doing the old playbook. You know how it goes, Ty. They already leaked to the media that Andrew Brown had a record, that they were issuing a search warrant for drugs. But I don't know. I've seen rednecks on cops get busted for drugs. They weren't assassinated.
Of course.
I know wealthy
that's
white people that feel
John, man. You know, that bothers me every time I think about it. Oh, they searched his house and found weed. I don't know why they searched his house. He ain't do nothing. He ain't commit no crime, but they searched his house. And then they put out that they found weed in his house. Like, oh, I can't have weed in my house or I get killed.
Well, I want to remind the audience, because we got new people. What Ty's talking about, Ty and I actually went down in 2019 to Dallas. Botham John, 26-year-old black man. He actually was from the Caribbean, but he was here in America studying. He was just in his apartment one night, and a white police officer who lived a floor under him,
Amber Guy,
accidentally, or thought it was her apartment or some bullshit.
It wasn't no accident, bro.
Intruded into his apartment, shot him dead, and then the first thing that came out is Botham John had weed in his apartment. Which
after they searched his apartment, mind you, she went up in his. She's a criminal here. She went in his house unannounced, killed him. They searched his home.
Correct, and she was convicted, by the way, but she's now appealing the conviction.
10 years for murder.
10 years for murdering. And by the way, we were down there. Botham John, active in his church. Beloved in the community, 26, but Botham John did not get the name and the protest that George Floyd did. Countless black people have not. Not that George Floyd shouldn't have gotten that response, but there's a lot of people we don't even know their names that have been killed since Derek Chauvin verdict a week or so ago. But Ty, I wanted to play some of the footage from last night because literally nothing new, but these are like. They're literally last night. And by the way, John will be live tonight again. So stay tuned for this channel. Make sure you're signing up as a member because it's not cheap to keep him out there. Ty, you know the costs that go with on-the-ground reporting. So sign up. statuscoup.com/join. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. We're now, I don't know, I'm not great at math, but I think it's 1,923. So that is 77 members away from 2,000. Boy, 2,000 would be a fucking milestone, Ty. That would be.
Y'all ain't got 2,000 yet?
Nah, we're at 1922. Why are you sniffing 1922?
I feel like y'all was at 2,000 at one point.
We were almost at 2,000, and then COVID hit, and we lost a bunch because obviously people's economic situation really went to hell. So, but you could sign up, statuscoup.com/join. Low as $5 a month. We really, really appreciate all our new members the last few days. Sign up. But I want to, if you didn't see it, Ty, I want to show you. I want to show you some of the footage from last night because these police, maybe there was like 20 to 30 protesters. This is a small city, Elizabeth City. It's kind of west of the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Okay. We expect more protests this weekend, so we're keeping John there to cover it.
Don't be surprised when the counter protesters come. You know they on their way.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. This is the South. But I wanted to show you. Just some of this because it's just crazy. These police and what they were doing last night. the presence for like 20 to 30 protesters and media was just out of control. Out of control. Let's take a look.
What happened while you were arrested?
I was trying to put my money.
Y'all, please.
Back up! Touch that right! Back up! Don't touch that! Back up! What I'm doing, bitch! Back up! Oh, that's what I'm doing, bitch! Hey guys, remember the oath that you swore to the Constitution? Hey, get off here! I'm a boy. Lower your weapon. Nobody has weapons here. Lower your weapon. Nobody has weapons here. Nothing's happening.
You're not going to be behind us. Get back. We're not subject. We don't want you behind us. It's a safety issue. Get back. We are media. It does not matter. Get back.
You guys.
Get back.
So the mayor has said we are allowed to
Get back. Get back.
Watch out, guys. Watch out. Watch.
I told you to stay there.
No. Pull back. I'm talking all that cash, but they're running away.
All the dogs down.
With the message so clear, systematic, and institutional oppression. Oh, now you're gonna come after me?
Watch your back there.
That's crazy.
For what reason? Oh, you think so?
Where should be the rest of the
This is my property.
I know that.
So why are you taking it?
Hey, yo, why y'all smoking on like that, yo?
Nothing happening. Relax.
Get off me.
What y'all arresting me for?
Come on, back.
What y'all arresting me for? 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 Get off me. Get off me. Get off me. You guys know I was there when they stormed the Capitol. I saw what they did.
I can't hear you.
Forgot to turn my mic off. You got this complicated audio thing. I forgot to turn my mic back on. You and I have been out there. We got arrested in 2017, which is always a nice claim to fame.
Yeah.
And there was actually like, I don't know, 40, 50, 60 protesters there.
It was probably 100.
Yeah, okay, 75, 100. I
They
don't know.
had about the same amount of police. I know it was that shit like that bothers the fuck out of me, bro. I'm serious, man. Like they're literally like saying don't protest. Like how they're approaching him. Motherfucker said, "Oh, you talking shit now? You running? Who the fuck are you? Are you want to fight them? Is that what he want to do? They can chant whatever they want to chant. It's a protest."
Well, technically, the officers would say you're out past curfew, blah, 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 blah. But because there was a curfew last night. But what I find absurd, you, the officers, are withholding the evidence. So you are withholding whatever happened, which indicates a cover-up, and then you are telling the people who want to exercise their First Amendment rights that they can't be out past a certain time.
Did you see that one white police, the first clip that you showed?
Oh, yeah.
He was rushing like he's just ready. He need his ass beat.
But the thing is, you look at these cops, and honestly, I would say it's white and black cops.
It's all cops, bro. Oh, fuck all cops. White, black, Asian. It don't matter. If you sworn under that oath and you wearing that uniform, fuck all y'all. All of them. Because it's a system, bro. If you trained under oppressive and racist system, you're going to be that. I don't give a fuck what color you are. Right. Fuck all of them.
And by the way, we got almost 800 people watching. Smash that like button, thumbs up button right under the video. The more people that press like, the more people that will see this live stream. Keep those super chats coming because I'll read.
That shit dumb as hell. That should be bothering me too. I'm like, nigga, you got to look at yourself in the face. When I be saying black police officers, I'll be ready to beat their ass more than the white ones because at least I know how they are.
And by the way, Ty, I don't know if you know this. I hate to tell a black man what to say.
That's exactly what you're doing. You want me to stop cussing?
No, the N-word is actually, I found out, against YouTube's terms of service.
No, for black people.
No, for all people, believe it or not.
I don't think so.
Yeah?
Because I watch podcasts and they say it all the time.
Okay, I read it. It said that, but whatever. You know what's really appalling to me? You look at these, that bigger, let's just call him an overweight white cop. But then some of the black cops at the end of that, they look like they're just chomping at the bit.
Yeah, bro.
Crack skulls.
Yeah.
Because when they use this line, oh, move back, it's for safety. Whose safety? They're not the protesters.
I guarantee if I was out there with that camera, I would have been arrested. I'm surprised. Your cameraman white?
Yeah, he's white.
Okay.
No, but
I said he's not moving. I'm like, if that was me, I would have for sure been arrested.
No, but John
would have been talking shit though.
But John was asking them like,
no, I heard him. Yeah.
John was asking, isn't this a bit excessive? Like, what are they doing? Blah, 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 blah.
See, that's why I love that you can see when you're disconnected, you can be that calm and ask those rational. I can't. I'm gonna go off. I can't.
You remember when you were still with Status Coup and you went off at that cop, and I
can't control myself around them. I can't. I'm too connected. I've been involved. I've been harassed too many times. I done been hit.
No, I literally called you and I had to yell because I was afraid you were going to get yourself shot.
But you kept putting me in the situation. We'll go cover that. Don't get mad when I act like I'm an act.
Right.
Period. But you did. You would get upset.
Well, I'm worried that they are going to.
I understand you worry, but you know what I'm saying? That's why I say, it's certain things that, God allows me to understand what I can't be around because I know things that I just can't handle. And I don't like when I see stuff like that, bro. I'm just like, they don't learn, man. Well, they don't learn.
I want to play another clip because to me, I know that you're a little more establishment than me and thought Biden gave a nice speech last night. Full disclosure, I didn't get to watch all of Biden's speech because I was doing the live chat for John's protest.
Mind you, first off, if people don't know, I'm Bernie all day.
Yeah.
But, right? Hey, I don't know how. Listen, I don't know. Wait, what?
Words sway you more. Biden.
No. This is what I'm saying. If you're in the State of the Union, not to say that, but you can put more confidence. Not to say that all of it happens. We did a whole montage of presidents during the State of the Union that would say stuff and it never happened. Like Obama saying was getting out of Guantanamo Bay, saying we'll heal cancer, all type of stuff that past presidents said in the State of the Union. But when you state something there, I feel like there's more emphasis on it, and people can hold you to account more. And also, what I didn't appreciate,
presidents be lying at State of the Union.
Of course, I'm not saying that they don't, bro. I mean, we're supposed to have 2 people on the moon. That's what Trump said. I mean, on Mars. But I didn't appreciate the fact that he didn't spend a lot more time on the shit that's happening with police and black people and racism. He spoke on it, but I feel like that's been the heat of the conversation in this country for a little over a year now. It's always been there, but I'm talking about it's been like people have been driving at it so much, and I felt like he could have spent more time on that.
Well, number one, the clip I'm about to show you, there's another guy very disappointed in Biden and the Democrats and the squad and the whole system.
I'm disappointed in all of them. I'm just saying that don't misunderstand me. Only thing I'm saying is I was surprised with his speech yesterday. That's all. That's it.
It was a lot of platitudes and bullshit, but we'll get to it.
But you didn't watch it, so how you gonna speak on something you don't watch?
I watched some of it. I don't watch all of it. By the way, my wife just put in the chat. She's very concerned about your vaping and your health.
So your wife, I said, hey,
just letting you know, it's just not just me. My wife, others, they're very concerned about your vaping. It has things with your back, gum disease, all this stuff. But you do you. So I want to play this clip. And remember, we got 700 people watching. Smash that like button. John will be live probably in the next 2 hours. So we're going to be on the ground. Look, you got to show the audience your teeth too. Jesus.
Oh, I mean, I was you said about my gums. I'm like, nah, my gums
have been like a chimney since I've known him. So I want to show this clip because it was absolute fire. Remember, your support is funding this, nobody else. So sign up. It's right there. Statuscoup.com/.
You guys are doing good too.
Statuscoup.com/join. We need you. We got to get to 2,000. I don't know what else to say. We got to get to 2,000. We're
almost there.
We're trying to bring on more people. We're trying to cover more things. I'm going on my honeymoon on Sunday, but when I get back, I'll be back in the field. We need more support.
This is how much he works. He put off his honeymoon so that he can cover the news.
Well, no,
because he's addicted.
I put off my honeymoon because it was a deadly pandemic, but thanks for that.
You know what I'm saying? You could have just rolled with that, though.
I put off a lot of things to be in the field, including time with my niece, my nephew.
I didn't know you did that. Oh, yeah, the pandemic was going on when you got married. I didn't get invited, by the way.
Yeah, you didn't get invited. I could only have 20 people. You didn't make the cut. I'm probably gonna have like.
You should have a shindig.
At like a restaurant or something. I'll invite you. Sure. So I'll have your calamari and whatever else you want. By the way, I'm trying to go vegetarian now. I've decided. At least 80% vegetarian. So we'll see. But let me play this clip because it was absolutely fire. And I think this gentleman speaks for a lot of people, frankly. Here we go.
What's good, everybody? Joe Nice here at the John at the Status Coup. If you're watching on Status Coup, please press the like button. Please donate. Please subscribe. It's important to get independent journalism here on the streets, boots on the ground. Please. What happened today is a travesty of injustice. They need to release these tapes. They need to release these unredacted tapes completely, fully, and unequivocally. There's no reason why these tapes should be withheld by the Pasquotank County Police Department and court system for at least a week. I guarantee you, if the cops had rescued somebody from the water, the cops would have had those tapes immediately to show everybody. This is a cover-up, and there's a cover-up within the cover-up. There's a whole bunch of nefarious activity taking place within this courthouse, and we need to bring these police officers that are standing on the roof watching us and the police officers that are not watching out for safety of black people and people in general to justice. This must change. We have militarized police marching along the streets right now. Where's Joe Biden talking about this? Why is he not doing anything? Joe Biden gave a law to the Asians and Pacific Islanders, and of course they need protection. But for 400 years, black people have been brutalized, murdered, economically castrated, etc. in the streets. Where is our justice? Where is the legislation for black people in this country? Where is it? Joe Biden, we're calling on you to do something. This is 100 days that you have been in office and you have done nothing substantive for black people. And black people got you elected. Stacey Abrams handed you the election on a platter. What have you done for black people? Reverend Raphael Warnock advocated for you. Nothing. Kamala Harris brought a whole bunch of black people to the Democratic Party to bring Joe Biden into office. Joe Biden, when in the hell are you going to do something for black people? We are waiting, but we cannot wait any longer. We've waited far too long. Absolutely. We demand justice. We demand justice now. We demand the release of these tapes of Andrew Brown Jr. with police on the roof waiting. For what? The police, and what I'm most ashamed about the police are the black police officers. Because how can any black person be complicit and an accomplice to the brutalization of other black people in the United States. It's an affront to everything that we know about humanity, freedom, equality, and survival that you see on my t-shirt. Again, what we've witnessed here is a cover-up, and it's just like a toupee. The cover-up is always worse than the crime. I'm going to say that again. It's just like a toupee. The cover-up is always worse than the crime. What we saw today was a cover-up. Why are we hiding the videotapes? Why are you redacting footage? Why is the Pasquotank Police Department covering up names of badges and covering up weapons that are being used by the police officers that assassinated Andrew Brown Jr. behind the wheel of his vehicle? Why are they covering up the footage? What do they have to hide? What was said on those videotapes that can't be heard to the public? Why are First Amendment rights being violated by not releasing these tapes? There are 5 freedoms that the First Amendment of the United States Constitution affords. The right to peaceably assemble, the right to petition your government, the right to freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and freedom of the press. Why is the press not being able to get this videotape shown to the masses so accountability can be adhered to by all parties, plaintiff and defendant? This is a joke. These police officers, everybody involved. Why would 2 police officers quit and another take an early retirement if they did nothing wrong? And the other 7 police officers that were allegedly involved, that's standard operating procedure to have them put on ice until the investigation has been completed. But why the other police officers? Where are they? Why would they quit? Why would you all of a sudden quit if you did nothing wrong? Why would you take an early retirement if you did nothing wrong? Come on, release the tapes. We want unredacted tapes. Unredacted tapes. There were 10 police officers. Why were there only 5 body cams? 10 police officers, 5 body cams. 10 police officers, only 1 dash camera? 1 dash camera? Doesn't make any sense. Yes, sir.
Can I ask you your question about Joe Biden?
Yes, sir.
And Kamala Harris. I mean, so have they been a disappointment?
Say again, please.
Have they been a disappointment? Or?
They've been a total disappointment. In fact, Joe Biden should have never been elected. Joe Biden is the reason why we have all of these police in the street right now via the 1994 Omnibus Crime Bill. The reason why we have mass surveillance is because of the Counterterrorism Act of 1995. Now, that bill was never passed in Congress, but when 2 planes went into the side of the World Trade Center, another plane went to the side of the Pentagon, and another plane landed in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, George Bush contacted Joe Biden, knocked on his door and said, hey, Joe, we need to surveil everybody. Remember that Counterterrorism Act? Let's remix it, add some more stuff, put some more money into it, and call it the Patriot Act. Okay? When you are so much as suspected of being involved in criminal activity, but never actually being involved in criminal activity, there's a bill that Joe Biden wrote that authorizes civil asset forfeiture. Joe Biden wrote the bill. He didn't dot the I's, and he dotted the I's, crossed the T's, proofread it. They didn't have Microsoft Word back in 1984 because that's when the bill was written. But Joe Biden wrote that bill. Joe Biden wrote that bill. So Joe Biden should have never seen the inside of the White House, ever, especially as president of the United States. And where are the people that said, oh, let's get him elected, and then we're gonna push him left? How is that working out for you after 100 days? Where's the pushing him left? He hasn't forgiven student loans. He hasn't given everybody health care. He hasn't done anything to regulate Wall Street. He hasn't done anything to properly administer the vaccine to everybody and make sure vaccine apartheid is not a problem in this country. He hasn't done anything for student loan forgiveness. But we're gonna all of a sudden push a guy left that was an advocate of Strom Thurmond's Dixiecrat party? We're gonna push that guy left? It's a joke.
Joe, one more time.
Yes, sir.
What's your message to the entire Democratic Party?
The Democratic Party needs to be dissolved. The Democratic Party needs to be dissolved fully and completely. There is no use for them. There is no use for the Democratic Party. Moreover, there is no use for the Congressional Black Caucus. Because what in the hell is the Congressional Black Caucus done to alleviate the systematic genocide of black people in the United States by police? What have they done? What are you doing? What about the squad? Where are you, squad? Where are you, AOC? What about you, Ayanna Presley? Where are you, Ilhan Omar? What about you, Jamal Bowman? I'm calling every one of you out. All of you. Because if you see another black person in the street, I don't want to hear thoughts and prayers or we're sending our love to the family. I want you to get off your fucking asses and do something for the people. That is the reason you all got elected. You all got elected because we have a representative government in the United States. That means you are representative of the people that have put you into the halls of Washington, D.C. What are you doing for the people? More specifically, what are you doing for black people? What are you doing to make sure that black people don't get shot down and murdered like dogs and pigs in the street by racist white police officers? What are you doing? The next time you do something for black people will be the first time. And we are waiting, and we are tired of waiting. We are tired of this. This is an injustice. This is an affront to everything that, quite honestly, the United States says that they are about. But it's not, because this is a racist country. The United States was built on racism. America was founded on racism. Not too far away from here in Fort Monroe, Virginia, the first Africans were trafficked on Spanish and Portuguese slave ships and brought to Fort Monroe, Virginia at Point Pleasant on or about August 20th, 1619. We are now 401 years into white supremacy, Jim Crow, slavery, convict leasing, redlining, block busting, you name it, we're living in it now. And right now we have a bunch of people in the White House that aren't doing anything to systematically help black people in this country. Nothing. Absolutely zero. So that is why we have people in the streets, because we need people in the streets, and you hear the constant chants, boots, boots, boots are on the ground, boots, boots. We're going to shut this shit down. We need to shut everything down. We need mass workers' strikes across this country, not only intra-industry, but inter-industry. We need to shut everything down until these people, these racist police officers, do what they're supposed to be doing. And again, I'm going to say this again. I'm going to be crystal clear. I'm going to be Waterford crystal clear with what I'm about to say. If you are a black police officer, there's no way anybody should trust you. There's no way anybody should trust you, because you are no better or no different than any of the white police officers that are complicit and guilty of killing black people in the streets. It is wrong. It is wrong. And John, thank you for your footage last night. I saw black police officers standing there and people in the streets saying what they had to say to them. And I fully agree with every one of those people that were saying what they had to say to the black police officers. Because how could you work with people that systematically murder your own people? Again, black police officers across the country. Y'all can look at me. I'm going to take my mask off so you get a really good look at my face. And I shaved today and I'm clean. Look, how could you look at yourself in the mirror and know that the white police officer that's next to you was involved in systematically killing somebody that looks like you? That's for every black police officer across the country. I want everybody to make sure you understand that. Take that home. And if you can sleep at night after you think about that, then you're just as psychopathic as the white police officers that systematically murder black people.
Absolutely. One more time, give the people your name.
Joe Nice. You can find me everywhere. Joe Nice DJ, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Cool.
Your thoughts?
Talk your shit, Joe Nice. Talk your shit. That's right. Y'all finally got somebody on there that's great. I love everything he said. And he knew his history. Talk your shit, Joe Nice.
I gotta look him up a little bit, but I was actually saying, let me give this guy a show. Fuck.
You need to give him something. Talk your shit, Joe Nice. Shit. And he ain't sitting there talking uninformed. He know exactly what he's talking about. Everything he said was solid. And he's solid. Just like I said, you got to be able to look at yourself in the mirror. And if they can look at themselves in the mirror after going and killing their own people, then you even more psychotic. However, you even more psychotic than the white police officers. Sociopathic. I think that's what he said.
You know, whenever I see like just fire like that, well, the first thing I think, imagine what the country would be like if those people were actually allowed on CNN.
Yeah.
Or MSNBC. Yeah. Or like the New York Times quoted these people rather than like professors or scholars.
Exactly. Quote a motherfucker that's living it. That's the thing. They're asking all these experts and stuff about things. Go on the ground, because those experts ain't living it. Go talk to them people living it. We living it. We're passionate about this. We ready to die for this. So I loved everything you said. Joe Nice. I appreciate you, bro.
The thing that I found, I mean, there was so many things that he said that I found so interesting. But one thing that I really thought, like, imagine if like you got, I don't know, you got treatment with a doctor or something, right? And they screwed up and injured you. You wouldn't expect that doctor to like then treat you and fix you. Hell no. So it's like he was pointing out, how can Biden and the Democrats even attempt to fix this? And I'm not blaming all Democrats. Obviously, the Republican Party is hella racist and don't give a damn. They are blue lives matter till they're blue in the face. But how can Biden be expected or the Democratic Party be expected? And I love that he called out the Congressional Black Caucus too, when frankly, Biden handed the police these military weapons. The crime bill, in like really, if police were already out of control in this country, the crime bill lit a match on that. The crime bill incentivized sending military grade weapons to police department. The crime bill incentivized building prisons to house with black men. So how
you see how they were lined up? That military line with the little shields and shit.
Yeah.
That was part of the training with the crime bill.
Mm-hmm. So, could people evolve? Yeah, they could evolve. But I think man is, no, I'm saying in general, could people who used to be a certain way evolve? Yeah.
That's so you can evolve, but you can't evolve if you telling me we not defunding the police. Like, where's the evolution if that's your response to it? Not even considering anything else. That's what we're not doing. We're actually going to give more money to them so we can get better training. That's what Joe Biden said.
And by the way, let's not excuse President Obama or as you say, Black Jesus, because a lot of this, Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, Jordan Davis, God knows how many other names happened under him. Really? Oh, Eric Garner, excuse me. Obama, cried during a few press conferences, but Obama's Department of Justice didn't charge the officer who strangled Eric Garner to death right in front of you.
Yeah.
They didn't charge him. Obama, I don't know. They didn't do much. He could blame, Republicans had control of this, that. He didn't exactly push for it other than words, being the griever in chief. And Biden, listen, I want to be fair to Biden, who I can't stand, but obviously the pandemic was the number one priority. But, Biden was elected. This man is right. He was elected. He won Georgia because of black people in Atlanta. He won Michigan because of black people in Detroit. He won Wisconsin.
North Carolina. Don't forget about the primary.
He won Wisconsin. He won Wisconsin because of black people in Milwaukee, and he won the Democratic primary. Besides the corporate media and Iowa screwing Bernie
and Obama
Obama rigging the whole thing and getting Pete and Amy and the rest of the knuckleheads to get out for Joe. He won South Carolina because of James Clyburn, but more importantly, older black voters. So, if I don't expect Biden to solve racism, police brutality in 100 days, but I expect him to do something. And, when he came out, for example, it was just classic Democratic Party platitudes. He came out when the verdict for Derek Chauvin came out, Ty, and he said, maybe this is the beginning of something, of justice. No, that Derek Chauvin, that should just be automatic. What happened to him? That's not justice. But you saw Ma'Khia Bryant the same day. Dante Wright, right before the Derek Chauvin verdict. Now Andrew Brown. There's another gentleman, a Latino in California. I haven't covered this yet. That apparently similar thing to George Floyd. Officers need him, and he died. So, I mean, I'm a white guy. I'm not going to talk for black people, but I feel that guy's pain. Oh, there's your cat. I feel that guy's pain because he's talking 400 years of sin. He's talking decades of militarization of police. Meanwhile, Biden tells you, you want to know where your Medicare for all is and your free public college tuition is and all this stuff? It's all being spent, in addition to F-35s around the world, so we could invade other countries. It's being spent on those police departments. NYPD, $6 billion police budget. LAPD was a $3 billion. Now it's a little less. So that's what's going on, folks. That's what's going on. They are your camera went out for a second. And I just thought that guy was amazing. And you know what? Credit to him also, because it's not popular in some circles. He called out the progressive lawmakers too, because their AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, Pramila Jayapal, Ro Khanna, Cori Bush, who I like. I like Cori Bush. We met her in person. I think she's the real deal. They're scaredy. They're little scaredy cats when it comes to actually challenging the Democratic Party and Biden. They would rather work within the system than actually shut shit down. And they have the votes right now. If the squad plus Ro Khanna, Pramila Jayapal, Cori Bush, Jamal Bowman, Mark Pocan, Mondaire Jones, if they wanted to shut down the Biden administration's future things, floor vote on Medicare for all, $15 minimum wage. I want the George Floyd Policing Act done. I want action on defunding the police from a federal level. They could say, we're not voting for your infrastructure bill. Well, we're not doing X, Y, and Z until we get A, B, and C. And they haven't done any of that, Ty.
Shit is frustrating, bro. Look, no, somebody just texted me, just distracted me, asked me for some money that just blew me away. I'm sorry, it just tripped me out.
You sure it wasn't you texting me?
I'm texting myself. I don't know where they get off asking me for money though.
I was on a rampage here, and you just dropped the ball.
I know. My bad. Somebody threw me off because I don't even know this nigga. Really. So
let me say that. Let me do a question then.
Go ahead.
Listen, I'm not blaming Biden for all of the racial sins in America, but honestly, if you're a black person, how do you honestly expect this man to lead on this issue when his mentality, as early as in his 30s, was to prop up police, to prop up law enforcement, to prop up military?
Yeah.
And how do you expect anything to change if this is the president?
Well, you know what? I don't think any black person does. I think that's why black people are skeptical. Outside of the older black people that's so used to shit being fucked up that they see little minor shit as great, as a look forward, because they're so used to these little partial little things happening to, move us forward, I guess. So they probably love love Biden, but younger black people, Generation X, Generation Z, they feel just like he feels. They know he ain't gonna. They're not expecting that. That's why they're frustrated. You know what I'm saying? And so, but in context of like his history, you would be stupid to think he would. Outside of his history, last year when he said we ain't defunded, he didn't even listen to the conversation. He didn't even try to understand. Oh, I see what you mean. You know what I'm saying? I took it like this because you said defund. Oh, but I see what you mean. Yeah, that's exactly what we need. He didn't look at it. He shut that shit down. So you don't even have to wonder whether or not a motherfucker has evolved, or can you have confidence in him doing something to get rid of this shit, to end this fucking anti-blackness that America has held close to their heart since their inception. He let you know, no, nigga. This ain't what we doing. That's what he's let you know that.
I want to also bring up the fact that, why is it that North Carolina, and somebody just pointed this out, I didn't know this, maybe you did, Ty, that North Carolina is at the heart of racism. This is Courtney, the SLP, wrote this. And North Carolina is at the heart of racism. Africans were dropped off at the port and distributed throughout the country. So why is it that North Carolina has this law that you have to go to a judge to get the judge to agree to release the body cam footage? If there is a police-involved shooting in America, we pay their salaries, the police. They work for us.
Period.
Every one of them. I don't care if it's going to a lemonade stand, should be wearing a body cam. And after a police-involved shooting, no matter what, within 24 to 48 hours, that should be out automatic. State should not be separate state to state.
No, make it federal law and prosecute their ass when they decide to turn it off. Period.
Right. Because
that's
honestly,
all you got to do. Because motherfuckers, that's what I'm saying. You can put shit in place to make motherfuckers check theyself. The reason that they don't check themselves is because they know there's no consequences. They're not used to having consequences. So why would you check yourself? You're just gonna run rapid. You know what I'm saying? If I know that I'm gonna get into it every time, I'm gonna check myself. There's certain things I don't want to see because I know how I'm gonna act, and I don't want nobody checking me. I'm gonna check myself. You're gonna have to worry about. You got to. I'm gonna check myself. You know what I'm saying? I've dealt with consequences. You know what I'm saying? I know what it is. You know, I grew up different, so you can't just yell like, man, you can't just have an argument where I'm from, and we're gonna have an argument. As soon as your mouth get loud, we fighting. You know what I mean? That's the whole thing. If people ain't used to having no consequences for their actions, just like little kids, you don't give little kids no consequences. Guess what? They jumping on people's couch. You go to your friend's house, they jumping on your friend's couch. You know what I'm saying? You go anywhere, they're gonna act how they want to act because you don't do shit. You don't do shit to discipline them at home. But if they know that, they're gonna check themselves because they don't want that ass whooping. Period.
I also, Ty, I want to show the audience this. There are also these police departments, which, I already knew, but this is actually just evidence of it. They're surveilling journalists as well as the protesters.
Oh, for sure.
So this is last night. Ford Fisher, who's a independent journalist that goes to a lot of these protests around the country. He covered a lot of
bro. They be trying to surveillance me. You know what they do? They'll get like a Facebook app profile, and they'll put like a picture of a woman on it. Mm-hmm. And they'll have you like go and like befriend a woman, and then that's how they'll follow you.
So let me play this clip. This is last night. Ford Fisher, who's an independent journalist, he was on the ground there. Listen to the police. Somebody, I think Andrea, what's her name? Andrea. I don't know her last name, but she has a YouTube channel. Andrea. I don't know her last name, but she somehow got this. Here's the police chatting up.
Andrea, bro.
It could be pronounced either way, but thanks. Let's hear the police talking about Ford Fisher, who was live covering the police's actions.
Hey, there a guy beside you? He for just Facebook Live at their phone and sort of. I have no idea. I got about a 50-man CEU standing right beside me. Yeah, we're watching his Facebook Live. He's got a gas mask on or some kind of filter. Goggles on his head. No idea. Hey, there a guy beside you? He for just Facebook Live.
Hey, you remember old boy in St. Louis? You had him like one time. I think your back was hurting, and you had a report for you.
Oh yeah, Rebel.
They was following him. All the police knew who he was. Yeah, I see your videos. When we got arrested, all those police knew who he was. They all on this page.
So the thing is, Ford. I'm assuming, if they're monitoring his Facebook, then they're definitely monitoring our YouTube.
Of course.
We had, I think, some of the nights we've had like 3,000-4,000 people. The press conferences we've been airing from there have had sometimes 5,000, over 5,000. So this just shows you, why are they monitoring journalist feeds? Is it because they want to target those journalists, arrest those journalists so people can't see what they're doing there? Yeah, that's why. And so far, they haven't arrested journalists there. But the week is young, and the weekend is coming. And again, it doesn't seem to me, based on this judge's decision, which bent over backwards to protect the police faces, to redact other information, not to wait 10 days to give the family the body cam footage. It doesn't seem to me how it works down there in North Carolina is a lot of concern for protesters or even journalists. And in fairness, anybody really could say, I'm a journalist, you can't touch me. Yeah. But it's pretty clear when people have a camera.
Yeah. And a lot of times people have a badge too.
Yeah. John has his press badge, camera. Ford has a camera, this and that. It's not illegal for a journalist to ask you questions. John was asking them, don't you think this is a little excessive? You could answer or you don't need to answer, whatever. It ain't illegal. But the fact that we see it right there, they're surveilling Ford for two reasons. Number one, maybe his feed, they're trying to identify certain protesters that they can target. because Ford is interviewing protesters just like we're interviewing protesters. Or the other thing is, if this guy's getting too out of line or this guy's drawing too big of an audience, maybe we'll try to mess with him. So
no, they could do that if your footage is getting police caught up in some situations. Absolutely, they'll try to like sabotage you.
absolutely,
Put you in jail. They did a documentary on when Eric Gardner got killed. It's a documentary out. The guy that shot that footage, he would go out and shoot footage. The new NYPD would arrest him every time they saw him at the he put out that Eric Gardner footage, and he had to go to court and everything. It's a documentary. I think it's on HBO, but it's a documentary out. That's exactly what they do. They did that with him, just for him videotaping. They would arrest him for just seeing him. Oh, he crossed the street.
by the way, shout out, just got another new member. Woohoo! William. So we're now at 1,924. Ty, I could feel it, man. I could feel 2,000 in our distance. Yeah. And I think a lot of people don't realize.
Let me tell you, my brother came out with this idea. I can't say it on here, but it's another way for body cams. It's great. He's mind you, he's been in jail. He's doing life. They're trying to get him out right now, but he got a prototype, and I'll tell you off air. But for body cams, it's a really good idea.
You'll have to tell me more. You also interrupted my promotion.
My bad.
Which is another new member. So don't. William. We're now at 1,924. 1,924. And why this is so important. I mean, listen, some folks are like, Jordan, stop asking for money. Well, if you want to present me with your money tree so we can just endlessly afford flights, hotels, food. We've been extending the rent-a-car. You know, that's a bitch. Yeah. They charge you up the ass to keep extending the rent-a-car.
Look, understand this. You can't want and not give. You know what I mean? So you can't want honest journalism, in your face journalism. Hear the stories that you don't hear on mainstream media and not have to support that. Like, we're in a position where they don't want this, so they're not going to support it. But you got someone that you like that's going to do it. It's give and take. So you have to, as much as he commit, you have to commit too. So everybody got to pay outside of being able to go to locations. He's living as well. You know, this is how he lives. He dedicates all his time to that. So as much as he dedicates, and you guys have, I'm not saying you haven't, but for the people that are saying not ask for money, like it's a give and take. Like you give as much as being given. You know what I mean? And you can see he's not just pontificating out. If he's not out, he got his cameraman out. So they're moving, and at the same time, people got to live. So he has to eat. He has to pay his rent. He has to do all that because he's dedicating his time. He's writing articles. He's writing big story pieces. He does investigative journalism, the things that we're missing. So you got to you have to, and you guys are committed. And I'm really only addressing the people that say why you always asking. That's why it is what it is. You know what I mean? And it's a commitment.
Well, it's also
everybody.
It's also, I mean, let's just call it what it is. Other outlets that might not promote membership or Patreon or ask for support more. No offense, no disrespect, because I like all of them. They're in a studio, right? They don't have overhead of flights, hotels, rent a car, food, equipment.
We understand, and Jordan understands, and I can speak on this because this is how I am too. And when I was with the status quo, I understood. You want to be with the people because getting the reports from the police and this is what they said to XYZ. No, you want to be on the ground with the people because they know what's going on. These motherfuckers try to paint the story for the broad audience. But when you go talk to the people, you get the real, you get what's true, you get what's on the ground, you get how they feeling. And that's what you guys want. That's what we're giving you.
Your check's in the mail, by the way. That was a good promo for status quo.
I ain't got a check yet.
Oh, that ain't true. Anyway, we won't get into the money you owe me. But
I don't owe you, bro. I just did your studio for free.
This studio behind me is a Tommy Taifi Bayless creation. So it might look like it didn't take a lot, but painting the wall, the brick, the microphone, the audio, the lighting, it's
look at that lighting. It's not flat like mine. If you look at mine, is flat. That's how his was before. It's just a flat look. You see that contrast with him. You know what I mean? You got that contrast, a little dark in the back. His light face on the side, it's a little dark. I did that to give it some character.
I still got a little ring in my eye.
See how I'm flat? I'm just a flat light. It's just flat.
Still got
a little contrast for him.
Got that little glare in my eye, but what are you gonna do?
That's for the side, but it ain't in front. We moved that glare in the front. You know what? You can't be satisfied, bro. But you can, this way you can get rid of that.
You got a few minutes because I wanted to play some of what Biden said last night and respond to it because
mind if I use the restroom right quick?
Yeah, go ahead. All right. Everybody, smash that like button. As a reminder, John's going to be live in a little bit, so stay tuned. If you're not on our text list, by the way,
maybe go to the Y until I come.
Yeah, well, if you're not on our text list, you won't know when we're live. So you got to get on our text list. Text COUP to 370-370. That's COUP to 370-370. The more YouTube has a funny way of never notifying you when we're live, or notifying you an hour after we're live, or notifying you the next day. So the way to work around that, text COUP to 370-370. COUP 370-370. So I want to play a little bit of Biden's speech. Full disclosure, I didn't watch the whole thing because I was doing the live chat for John. But I wanted to play this part because it just begins a bunch of empty platitudes that, frankly, are just BS. So here is Biden. Talking about $1,400 checks and keeping his promise of $1,400 checks. And by the way, thank you again. Got 2 new members while we've been live, so keep signing up. statuscoup.com/join. Here's Biden talking about all the promises that he has kept so far.
Logistical achievements this country's ever seen. What else have we done in those first 100 days? We kept our commitment, Democrats and Republicans, of sending $1,400 rescue checks to 85% of American households. We've already sent more than 160 million checks out the door. It's making a difference. You all know it when you go home. For many people, it's making all the difference in the world. The single mom in Texas who wrote me, she said she couldn't work, but she said the relief check put food on the table and saved her and her son from eviction from their apartment. My grandmother in Virginia who told me she immediately took her granddaughter to the eye doctor, something she said she put off for months because she didn't have the money. One of the defining images, at least from my perspective in this crisis, has been cars lined up for miles. And not people just barely able to start those cars, nice cars, lined up for miles, waiting for a box of food to be put in their trunk. I don't know about you, but I didn't ever think I'd see that in America. And all of this is through no fault of their own, man. No fault of their own, these people are in this position. That's why the rescue plan is delivering food and nutrition assistance to millions of Americans facing hunger. And hunger is down sharply already. We're also providing rental assistance. You all know this, but the American people, I want to make sure they understand. Keeping people from being evicted from their homes. Providing loans to small businesses that reopen and keep their employees on the job. During these 100 days, an additional 800,000 Americans enrolled in the Affordable Care Act when I established a special sign-up period to do that. 800,000 in that period. We're making one of the largest one-time ever investments, ever, in improving healthcare for veterans.
So you might have missed some of that because you were in the bathroom. But number one, Joe Biden on the campaign trail for these senators running in Georgia said $2,000 checks out the door if you elect these Georgia senators. $1,400. Secondly, no disrespect to the single mother in Texas who sent them a letter. I know a lot more people that would say that $1,400 check was out the door as soon as it came.
I got it. It was out the door before I even got it.
So it shows you the complete emptiness, hollowness that Joe Biden, the Democratic Party, actually think $1,400 is going to rescue anybody. Sure, it might.
Because they never have to worry about shit.
Right.
I mean, these motherfuckers are millionaires.
So $1,400, maybe it will pay a couple bills.
It ain't gonna pay. Think about it. Took 8 months from the $600 that Trump gave in September. It took September, October, November, December, January, February. It took 5 months to get it. That means that's five months of rent you couldn't pay. If you're saying I couldn't do XYZ because I didn't have this money, that you still in the hole. You're still in the hole.
And by the way, he said, the food assistance, I got no beef with that. Credit to him for, more nutrition, more money for food nutrition, all that stuff. We could credit him where he does something good. But
wait, what you mean for food nutrition?
The COVID relief bill.
The one. Okay, yeah.
More SNAP food nutrition. But he wants a cookie for rental assistance so people wouldn't get evicted. Why is it that people are getting evicted during a pandemic? Why is it that the federal government isn't covering not just for renters, but even the landlords? Not every landlord is a Wall Street bank. There's small mom and pop or, landlords that need to pay their mortgages to banks. So why is it that, and this isn't completely his fault because Trump was president for the most of the pandemic, but why was it even on the table for evictions? Because let's be clear, Ty, the COVID relief bill that became law, 1.9 trillion, it's all temporary. It doesn't do a goddamn thing for permanent eviction relief, permanent foreclosure relief. It's the same thing as President Obama. Obama let the banks foreclose on millions of people, predominantly, by the way, black and brown homeowners. So Biden wants you to think that he's done these, massive things, but it's all temporary. There's nothing structural that he has done. And once the music stops, meaning once the pandemic is declared over and the eviction moratoriums are over and foreclosure moratoriums are over, you're going to see an explosion. And I got news for you. Joe Biden is not going to be there with the first aid kit because his Wall Street donors are not going to allow him to do anything permanent, anything structural. And the relief money they're giving families is not going to cover. You got families right now that are $10,000 to $20,000 in back pay for rent, for mortgage. So that's why
I agree, but at the same time,
it might sound good, Ty, but when you look underneath the hood, it ain't so good.
Yeah, and it may not. It may not, and you may be right. But if we can keep it all the way 110%, Biden has. I wrote the crime bill. No, we're not defunding. Biden has never spoke something that he will always be like, no, we're not doing that. I'm not on that time. Versus him kind of saying, we're going to get $15 an hour. We're going to do that was the first time me heard him saying this is what we're doing. Because before he would be like, no, we can do 12 or whatever, or we're not doing that. We're not doing Medicare for all like this. So that's the only reason I'm low key.
Then you were asleep at the switch during the campaign because that's the one promise he made on the campaign trail. $15 minimum wage. He said it on the campaign trail.
Okay, well then he's living up to it because he said it again.
Where have you been?
No. What I'm saying is no. Okay. Don't misunderstand me. Don't misunderstand me.
$15.
Don't misunderstand me.
Out of the COVID relief bill.
Don't misunderstand me. Okay, right. He took it out. You're absolutely right. But what I'm saying is this: he mentioned it in the State of the Union.
Oh, cookie that he mentioned it. What's he gonna do to make?
I know. But just all I'm saying. And I agree with you, bro. Only thing I'm saying is this. When he mentioned it, he then puts it in the It's there. It's not like he didn't. It's like it's in that where people can charge him for that. People can confront him. I'm not saying that he's going to do it or not. I'm saying that if him not putting it in the relief bill or in what do they call the thing that they do? Reconciliation. For him to not put it in that, people thought, okay, it's dead, or he's not gonna talk about it no more. And then for him to bring it up in the State of the Union, I'm like, maybe. I'm not saying that he is. Only thing I'm saying is it's interesting that he brought it up.
Well, points for interesting, right? My point is this: not just in politics, but in life, actions speak louder than words.
Actions speak louder than words, bro.
Let's just be clear here, okay? Joe Biden was the president. He got rid of Trump. He had him in the White House. He is
the president.
Had him in the White House. Democrats control the Senate. Democrat control the House. He could do the reconciliation bill before the Senate parliamentarian, which, by the way, is a bullshit thing.
Bullshit. Yeah,
it never was a thing. Trump just fired him. The parliamentarians' opinions have been.
Yeah, and he used that as an excuse, like, oh, we can't do it, like it's some type of rule. No, I get it, bro.
My point is leadership. If you actually want something, leadership would be
make that happen.
That's nice that
you're gonna bully people to make that happen, just like they did with Obamacare. Like they didn't have no Republicans. They said push that shit through.
And by the way, Biden, he's no wallflower. He's the president. So if Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema don't want a $15 minimum wage, you know what Joe Biden can do? He could publicly shame them.
Yeah.
He could go to West Virginia. He could go to Arizona if he wanted to. He could publicly shame them because public opinion in West Virginia and Arizona favor a $15 minimum wage. So I don't, kudos that he said it, but the opportunity for a $15 minimum wage was in that bill. He's not talking about, he's proposed an infrastructure bill for $2.2 trillion. Compared to the problem of the climate catastrophe, that's not enough. But
it's like 4 or 5 or something like that.
No, it's 2.2 trillion.
No, I know, but we need like 4 or 5. Like that was like
8 to 10, honestly.
Really?
But he's not talking about $15 minimum wage in that. And by the way, to be clear, why I am calling him out and calling the Democratic Party out, it's not $15 minimum wage right away. Even if it passed today.
Yeah, it takes like 5 years for all to kick in.
So, neoliberal wine moms and the resistance online could be happy that he said these things, but his actions don't actually back up that he's going to do any of it. And I want to point out
wine moms.
I want to point out another clip because this really made my skin crawl.
Yeah.
Let's take a look here.
That's why I proposed the American Jobs Plan, a once-in-a-generation investment in America itself. This is the largest jobs plan since World War II. Creates jobs to upgrade our transportation infrastructure. Jobs modernizing our roads, bridges, highways. Jobs building ports and airports, rail corridors, transit lines. It's clean water. And today, up to 10 million homes in America and more than 400,000 schools and child care centers have pipes with lead in them, including drinking water. A clear and present danger to our children's health. American Jobs Plan creates jobs replacing 100% of the nation's lead pipes and service lines so every American can drink clean water. And the process will create thousands and thousands of good-paying jobs. It creates jobs connecting every American with high-speed internet, including 35% of the rural America that still doesn't have it. It's going to help our kids and our businesses succeed in the 21st century economy. And I'm asking the Vice President to lead this effort, if she would. Because I know, think about it. There is simply no reason why the blades for wind turbines can't be built in Pittsburgh instead of Beijing. No reason.
So there's a lot to unpack there. First of all, because this is an issue I know a lot about. First of all, I'm not going to completely blame Joe Biden. He was the vice president, but he does like to take credit for everything Obama did. So how about some credit? How about taking the blame too? Flint doesn't have clean water 7 years later, and President Obama chose not to declare a disaster declaration. There's a difference between a disaster and an emergency declaration. Yeah. A disaster would send in the Army Corps of Engineers, federal, and send in a whole lot more money. Flint, 7 years later, has not replaced all of its service lines that have been destroyed by the toxic Flint River water. By the way, because the media is lazy and doesn't understand the issue, service lines, which are the pipes from your curb into the home, they're only half the piece. They're only half the puzzle.
You need the home.
Interior plumbing has lead and lead fixtures. Biden's plan doesn't touch people's interior plumbing.
Yep. So if you got lead in your interior, whatever comes from outside, it got to go through that interior, and it's going to be lead getting in that water.
And by the way, so you also have the main pipes under the street. A lot of them are cast iron from the early 20th century. Okay.
And a lot of them are in cities that was built for 300,000 that only got 100,000.
Right.
So the water is just sitting.
Like Flint. So Jesus can bless the water through the brand new service lines. But if it's first coming through busted main pipes and then going through busted interior plumbing, you don't know what the hell's in your water. And by the way, another thing, and I'm not blaming Biden completely for this, but a lot of people don't know this. Lead's only one piece of the puzzle. You got a whole lot of
bacteria that the CDC, that there's no regulation for. Because you have like in Flint, you have these pipes that was like these cities that have these pipe infrastructure that was made for 300,000. Now it's taking, when it's supposed to be 24 hours for water to get from the plant to a person's home, it's taking like 2 or 3 days. And the water's just sitting stagnant.
Right. And by the way, you got bacteria, you got PFAS, which are cancer-causing chemicals that have been found in the Ohio River Valley, North Carolina, Michigan, and other communities. They're chemicals that cause cancer, reproductive problems for women from the manufacturing of Teflon and other non-stick cookware. You got chromium, arsenic. I mean, there's a lot of things you don't know that's going through your water that, as Ty said, the EPA does not even test for, much less regulate. So service lines and lead, that's good. Change them.
Have your people seen your documentary?
It's for members right now.
It's for members right now?
Great perk of membership. Good recommendation, Ty. If you become a Status Coup member, you get access to our Flushing Flint documentary, which you've kind of slid on this because you were supposed to give me the
oh yeah, we're gonna submit it for some film festivals, but it's a good documentary.
Correct.
You should show them a trailer.
As a,
do you promote it as the filmmaker? Do you promote me in that, or you just say,
yeah?
I know you don't, because you're a hater.
Oh yeah, I do. Ty Bayless made this documentary.
I don't see it. Where say
it hasn't been for your name's on the damn documentary. What are you talking about?
It's at the end. You don't say it when you put it.
Okay, we'll change.
Filmmaker.
We'll change it. Wait a minute. Let me
something else.
Let me see. Is it not there? You know, that's true. We really should.
You are something else. See how he X out the black man, y'all. Y'all see how he X out the black man? He talking about everybody else doing for black people. I done made this whole documentary, shot it, recorded it, and he X out the black man.
No, when you're right, you're right. And I'm going to fix that. Sure. But the other thing at the end of that, Ty, and by the way, if you're a Status Coup member, you get access to that. So that's why you got to sign up. statuscoup.com/join.
It's pretty good. That intro is fire. I shot and directed and edited that whole thing.
That's right. So right now we're 76 members from 2000. But
mind you, we wasn't even making a documentary. We was just covering what he was reporting. And we had so much footage at the end, we decided we should make a documentary. So mind you, we didn't even go in to do that. So we was putting together shit that I wasn't even shooting for a documentary. So we was able to put this shit together, and you got a solid little piece.
And some of it was on our phones too, because you weren't.
Yeah.
So I want to point out also when he points out, and this really got me going here, Ty. He says there's no reason that wind turbines and all this stuff can't be built in Pittsburgh rather than Beijing. Hey, I got a reason, Joe Biden. The NAFTA bill, the NAFTA law that you championed and the Democratic Party and Bill Clinton championed, and the TPP, which you pushed, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which is another trade deal that would offshore jobs to Beijing and Mexico. No offense, people need jobs in Beijing and Mexico, but I'm not for at the expense of American work.
American jobs. Yeah, that's for sure.
So I don't want to hear Joe Biden, of all people, talk about there's no reason that these things can't be built in America.
It is a reason. You did it.
Right. You, Biden, Democrats and Republicans, by the way, basically let banks and corporations write the trade deals.
Aggravated progressive saying I'm getting high. This is hookah.
Yeah, you ain't getting high. I mean, whatever. You want to get high? I don't care.
You can get. Hey, they just made it legal.
Right. It is legal in New York. So I don't want to hear Joe Biden talk about, well, why aren't more jobs? Why aren't there more jobs in being built in America? Because you and the Democratic Party, through the bribery of you taking legalized bribes from Wall Street and corporate America, have allowed all these companies to offshore it to Beijing and Mexico and other countries and leave people who used to be able to earn a living here be forced to work 3 jobs, drive Uber, and the rest. Yeah. So kudos to you, Biden, if your bill becomes a law and it actually incentivizes job creation in America. I will be the first one to credit you, but I'll believe it when I see it. Because it's the same thing with, how do I trust this guy to take it to the police and actually reform, if that's even
he's the one that put it in place.
Right. It's not just Biden. Bill Clinton signed NAFTA, other Democrats. Yeah. But Biden said he was for it. So let me play one more clip and then we'll wrap up here. And reminder, John's going to be live probably in the next hour or so.
Carly said vaping is not legal in NY. You're right, but they still sell the shit though.
Oh, there you go. So let me move this, because this one really was unbelievable. And he said this on the campaign, and of course, corporate media didn't call him on it because they were, just kissing his ass. Here's
what?
Hold on.
75% don't require an associate's degree. The American Jobs Plan is a blue-collar blueprint to build America. That's what it is. And it recognizes something I've always said in this chamber and the other. Good guys and women on Wall Street, but Wall Street didn't build this country. The middle class built the country, and unions built the middle class. So that's why I'm calling on Congress to pass Protect the Right to Organize Act, the PRO Act, and send it to my desk so we can support the right to unionize.
No, Wall Street didn't build America, but they certainly built your political career and Nancy's political career behind you and Vice President Harris's political career behind you. And I find this so rich because he says these he's like Trump. They say these populist things, but behind closed doors, they're just completely bought off. They're completely bribed. Biden literally during the campaign said this. Let me find it. Said this.
No, I'm never
to donors. Corporate America has to change its ways. It's not going to require legislation. I'm not proposing any. We've got to think about how we deal people back in. Let me repeat. Corporate America has to change its ways, but I'm not going to require legislation, meaning I'm not going to be the one to make you change your ways. I'm not proposing any. We've got to think about how we deal people back in. This is what he was telling Wall Street, hedge funders, financial lawyers, and the whole rest of them behind closed doors at swanky fundraisers. By the way, Harris during the her campaign run was in the Hamptons, in penthouses on Fifth Avenue, doing the kissing ass for Wall Street too. So again, he says all the right things. What he's talking about, the PRO Act would be one of the most pro-labor laws if it went through in decades. It would really tighten. It would really put actual penalties down for union busting, make it easier to unionize, all those things. But where is the evidence that he's actually going to lead to get it done? You can't just say, give it to me, give it to my desk. Lyndon B. Johnson, a lot of problems with him otherwise, but
everything he wanted, he bullied. He made sure
he bullied. He twisted arms.
Yeah.
He knew how to work the phones. He knew how to make deals. Biden keeps saying, give me $15 minimum wage to my desk. Give me the PRO Act. Give me this. Give me that. Well, why don't you actually call out names and start shaming people?
Yeah. I'll say this, and
here we go.
No, just say this. Who knows, right? Because you're right. He said all those things, but sometimes circumstances can allow you to see something different. And maybe, even though he was elected in November, maybe throughout this whole time, because of the pandemic and all that. That's why I'm not saying, even though, like I said, he was saying some of the same stuff almost a year in, he could have evolved. Like, you know what? I'm seeing too many people, meeting too many people, like shit need to change. You never know, because this is a pandemic that we haven't had before. And sometimes circumstances can allow you to see things different. Because my thing is this, he's never talked like this though.
Yeah, yes. He's talked like this most of his career.
Normally he talked like the quote you said.
No, well, that's behind closed doors. Publicly, he's always talked like he's a union guy and a workers guy, and I'm middle class Joe. Absolutely, he has always talked like he is a friend of the workers before stabbing them in the back. So,
yeah,
I disagree. But
I think you're probably right. I guess I'm surprised by the. Okay, I was just surprised by his language last night. I personally, you're right. It's just like Hillary Clinton. You got to be one place. What did she say in her emails? Like, you have to have two sides to yourself, one in public and one in private, something like that.
Indeed.
So I get that. But I've seen him I've seen him like discount and deny shit in public of shit that he shouldn't. And now he's saying something different in public,
right?
Which makes me think maybe, you know what I mean? I'm not uninformed, so I know how his get down, but at the same time, it felt a little different. And I'm not a fan of his, but it felt different though.
Well, since you're so big on feelings, let me bring back reality. Abandoned $2,000 checks, abandoned $15 minimum wage. He ran on a public option. You remember? Not a word about a public option yesterday. And his healthcare plan is.
He ran on a public option. Are you sure?
Yeah, I cover this for a living. He ran on a public option. Absolutely.
Just because you cover shit for a living don't mean you know it all. You make mistakes.
This is what he ran on, Ty.
I don't remember him running on a public option.
During a deadly pandemic, he's been given more money to Cobra, the biggest for-profit healthcare scam in America.
You had Cobra.
I did have Cobra. It's a scam. I was paying $600 something a month before deductibles, before copays and all that crap. So I just look at actions. He had an unprecedented window here. The American people wanted big, bold change. He hasn't done 50. And, give him credit where credit's due. The 1.9 trillion was more than I thought it would be. But again, there's nothing structural in there. It was a Band-Aid for an economic gunshot wound. And again, getting back to how we started this, I go to Joe Nice, the DJ, Joe Nice.
Joe Nice.
What substantive thing?
I agree with everything DJ Joe Nice said.
What is it?
So when I'm speaking, don't understand, like, I'm in his lane. I agree with what he's saying, but what I'm saying is that yesterday, this is the first time, bro. If you look at the section, you can see, like, I know how I feel about Joe Biden, but yesterday I was like, I was just like, interesting.
Indeed. All right, folks, I gotta sign off. John will be live, I believe, a little bit later. We don't know if protests are small tonight, big tonight, but we'll be covering it again. Getting back, Andrew Brown, 42 years old, father of 7, murdered by police, and we still don't know what happened because they won't tell us and they won't release the body cam. So status quo will be on.
They said no, Ty, he's lying, dude. Don't listen. I hear you.
Oh,
bro.
by the way, couple shout outs, super chats. Just a girl, $9.99. That was fire. I agree. Probably talking about Joe Nice. Karen Webster.
She's talking about me.
Talking about you. Karen Webster, $5. Thank you for finding at Joe Nice. We appreciate it. Karen, again, $10. Good to see you, Ty.
Good to see you.
Caitlin, question. Status quo regarding your earlier discussion. What is your recommendation? Where should Biden start to fix this, realistically speaking? I'll give that to Ty.
She's talking about like police brutality.
Correct.
I think where you start to fix it is, I think it's someplace in New Jersey, if I'm not mistaken.
Camden is where they fired the entire police department. Yep.
And said we're going this way, and then they rehired everyone.
Yep.
Like I think something like that. And first off, it has to be acknowledged. You can't be so much their friend that you can't acknowledge the system that's corrupt. And that's the first thing you got to do. You got to be bold enough to speak on it. Because if you're not bold enough to acknowledge that it's there, that's the reason why we can't get over racism in America. Because there's too many white people that want to act like it didn't happen, or if it did happen, it was way back then, like it's not happening now. Or as if while we complaining, we didn't gave you something, like we or were given stuff as if we wasn't born citizens in this country. When you get to the point where you can address and acknowledge a person's pain, then you can move forward on both sides. I don't give a fuck how you feel. If you don't acknowledge me, I ain't moving. I'm still talking, and I'm right here until you acknowledge what I'm saying is real. It's like a rape victim. You know what I'm saying? If somebody being raped and you like, well, maybe you was wearing that short dress, or you know what, that's kind of suggestive what you're doing and what you said. So wasn't you asking for it? You know what I mean? I mean, he wasn't really trying to do it. I know him. It's the same type of thing. You got a motherfucker that you can't get over it.
Right.
So the only way that we can start to get over it is to acknowledge it. Period. You acknowledge the system, and that is corrupt.
Well, I would also say part of that.
Every police that get in that system is vulnerable to the corruption. Period. Point blank. If you don't start with that, we can't go nowhere.
Well, I would also say part of that acknowledgement is reparations. And
of course,
I think Bernie, unfortunately, didn't go there. He should have.
I want my chips with dip, all of it, cash money.
Pat Anderson, $5. You're doing a great job, Jordan.
Don't tell me what I can do with my money. You know what I'm saying? I need all that money for the ancestors, and I'm gonna have me like 3 white women for the ancestors.
Well, to me, it is about the money, because black people were basically, if it's a race, the white person.
Of course, it's all about economics. I don't need you to put shit in nothing to try to tell me what I don't need you to do nothing. You can do that in addition. You can do that in addition.
I was also as important as the money is to me, is what the money signifies. It acknowledges the sin, because a lot of politicians like to say it, but they know a lot of white voters won't be happy with that acknowledgement.
And that's the only reason. Think about what you just said right there. How powerful that is. It's so powerful that they won't even acknowledge slavery and the effects of it. They're so worried about how voters will feel about it, how these white people, like their attitudes towards it, and how it then dictates like how a politician will respond to that. It's so powerful, bro. That's the only reason why they won't move forward, is because their fear of how voters would react to it, like white voters would react to it.
Right. Appreciate it, Ty. By the way, folks, make sure you follow Ty on the Twitter right here.
Twitter. I'm about to start a page in a minute, but it's gonna be something different. Look at you, bro.
At Tommy_Taifi. At Tommy_Taifi. That 1,000 followers he has, by the way. I should get a kickback.
That was from you. You did.
I should get a kickback from some of those followers. But follow him. You're on Instagram too, right?
Mm-hmm.
same thing.
Tommy Tahifi. It's Tommy Tahifi. It's no underscore.
All right. Twitter, you got the underscore Tommy underscore Taifi, and IG, you got just Tommy Taifi. Taifi is Tyhefe.
Yes.
Tyhefe. Ty, I thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me, bro.
Yeah, man. We'll talk. And folks, I'm trying to figure out. Hold on. So I'm not positive if Sean's going to go live tonight. I'm not positive, but he will be there for the weekend too. So how you'll know if he's live tonight, you got to text. You got to join our text list. Text COUP to 370-370. That's COUP 370-370. By the way, Ty, are you a member?
You know, y'all take $10 out of my account every month, bro. I
Okay.
get y'all emails and everything. You know that?
I was just making sure you remember.
That should stop.
Yeah. You can't talk the talk without walking.
I should be free. As much pro bono I done.
That's funny. So Ty is one of these 1,922 members. Excuse me, 1,924 because we got 2 more. So keep signing up. Statuscoup.com/join. And we might be live tonight, but we'll definitely be live this weekend, if not tonight. Thanks for watching, folks. We will see you a little bit later. Peace.
Peace.